Hello everyone, Cliff here in the shed. First of all, Happy New Year everyone. Got another Wednesday waffle here. Now, last time I spoke to you, I was having trouble with me, compiling the code for the new card for the 3D printer. I was probably at my wit's end with it, I couldn't make it work. I had a chat with a mate of mine at golf called Steve. He was going to have a look at it for me, and I was on the point of sending all the stuff over to him to do it, but in the instructions on that from TH3D in their video, he does say about not saving your downloaded files to Dropbox and whatever. Anyway, I eventually opened up my files in something on my desktop, Brezip or something, and it's got all the things I've ever downloaded on there, and I found there was two. I'm going to have to be very technical now. There was two firmware files on that from TH3D. There was bloody blah 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 firmware and bloody blah blah firmware 1. And I've been using bloody blah blah firmware 1. So I opened the VS Code and I put in the file that was bloody blah blah firmware. Run the compiler and it worked. And now I believe that on this brand new SD card that was formatted and everything for it, I have the firmware for the new board. I hope. So now what I've got to do is sort this mount out, get the board mounted in it, get the printer onto my bench, which is covered in crap at the moment, so I've got to clear that off. Get the card, the new LCD card, put in board, whatever you call it, into this, get it plugged into the main board on the printer, and then I'll find out if, for one, this card, this SD card, has got the proper firmware on it, and whether the actual card reader on the printer works or not. So I'll spend the next hour or two doing that. I'll see you in a minute. Oh, that's the bottom off. I do believe it's this one that's got to come out and plug into the board. Oh no, that's the speaker wire. I don't know. That's null and void now, that speaker. Can't remember what one that goes in. I'll have to go back and have a look at that. Got a feeling it was 2. I'll have to go and check that. Right, it was number 3, so I plugged all that in. I took the speaker right out. I was scared the cable might get caught up in the fan or something. Let's put the bottom back on. We are very close to the moment of truth now. The housing needs a little bit of redesigning. It doesn't fit quite properly with the board in there and that, so needs to be altered a little bit. We'll call them, for the purpose of this video, discrepancies, for their fuck ups. But anyway, so what I should do now is plug it in and switch it on. Now what should happen is that this screen should be just blank when you first switch it on. So we'll see if that works for a start. So that's it. I don't know if that showed up on the camera, but the screen was definitely blank. So switch it off. There you go, dead. See if I can put this camera a little bit closer. So now what should happen, I'll put this card in the card reader. Now when I switch it on, it should take a few seconds or something, but you should have the TH3D logo coming up on here. So here we go. Like I said, I wasn't that optimistic because I do think the card reader's packed up. So, I'm still nowhere with it. I'll just try it again, just in case. I switched it off, switch it on again. No, I was right in the first place. I think the card reader is knackered. Bugger. So I'm going to have to get another card reader. The only place I know I can get a direct replacement for it is AliExpress. Bloody nuisance. So even though I was pretty sure that the card reader was knackered, it did give me the hump when I put the card in and nothing did happen. I was really rather hoping it would work. But it did occur to me, after I went down and had a cup of tea, that I may be able to do the card directly through the USB thing I done. And I've got this. This is a USB reader I use on my old Mac, because the card reader went up the pole on that. And I just do it when I'm editing the videos and that through this SD card reader. So I'm going to plug this in, stick the card in here and see if it will go, because that card reader in there just goes straight down to the motherboard. So, well, I'll give it a try, see what happens. I'll stick this in here. Right way round, perhaps. Switch it on and see what happens. I'll zoom in on the screen so you've got some chance of seeing what does happen, if anything does happen. No, that hasn't seemed to work. So, one more thing to try apparently. Some people have said, can't see it working, but oh, for God's sake, I think I know what one's fitting on now, wouldn't you? I'll take this off. So some people have said that this bottom screw on the can't really see it down here, loosen that off, sometimes that shorts this out. I'll kind of have the ump if it does work, if this works, but I can't see it being that anyway. I'm pretty sure this card reader is just knackered. Plug that in, turn it on. Nah, still ain't done it. Didn't think it would. When I was having trouble with this card reader before anything else went up the wall, to be honest with you. Nah, I ain't having it. Right, I think I'll stick all this back together, stick it in its hole and do something else. Right, well that's that back in its hole until the new card reader turns up. Right, well that's it then. Till the next one. Can't do no more with the printer. And I need to get up that end and do some stuff up there and try and get that end of the workshop sorted out so I can start ruining some metal. Happy New Year again. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.